There may be a thunderstorm rolling by, but we've got some Lely robots to unload. This is a lot of pressure, I'm not gonna lie. A1 is a better speed for this baby.
Coming real good. You come in that way, you're perfect, Andrew.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I was very worried it wouldn't even fit. So far so good.
Coming in wonderful.
I gotta watch my top.
Yeah. Shut your door.
Yell loud then. Yeah, not gonna lie, that's terrifying. Oh, I gotta turn the heat down here. Too much pressure. Now the trick with this one is it does not have the control unit on it. So it's not gonna be as balanced near as nice. Oh, okay. It's off the truck at least. Probably the most nerve-wracking part because it's so high up. If I drop it... Oh. That arm moved a little. That's okay. I think that'll be fine.
You lifted up a whisker because I'm like...
Little, but not much.
That's all I need on the far corner over there. Oh! Perfect, Andrew!
I think that's the Juno. We did it, and nothing fell off. Now, of course, the fun part will be moving it back to our place from Mom and Dad's, but that's another day's problem. Patience and an actual drill is what it takes to get these up. With the robots unloaded in that rain, today the sun's supposed to shine. It would be awesome to dry this out. Well, after not giving you too many updates from around here over the last week, I think you'll be impressed with where we're at. So this office, all of this, required a lot of the fine tuning. So finishing up all the water lines, the electrical. In here we've got drains. I think these are really nice. These are drains. So this is going to be a shelf. There's going to be concrete on top. The floor is going to come up right to here. And that way, everything will slope down to the drains. It'll go down off to that kind of black sump area I'll show you in a minute. But it's basically ready, and all of these rooms are now ready for the in-floor heating system. So the foam, the glycol lines, all that, or the hot water lines, all that stuff that will, basically keep it warm in here. The other really nice thing is Derek and his crew got this office area all done. So you can see a nice area. This is where it's elevated. I mean, there will be stairs, obviously, but this is what it's going to look like when we look out into the barn. So, you know, a lot of things tidying up, a lot of more manual labor for everybody, just because there's not an easy way to get in and out of here. In fact, our new skid steer was stuck over there. Schoonderwoerd's track skid steer was stuck over there. She's a bit soft in there. So a lot of this, unfortunately, had to be done the old-fashioned way, but that's all done, which is really nice. I do have to hand it to the McMinten crew, the company that did this, because, I mean, the goal is to pour next week these floors, and they were here till like 7:30 or 8 getting it done so that we would be ready to pour. Now, for me, my job, because it's been my job since we began building the barn, is pumping water. It's the only thing I seem to do. And that's because we need to try to, get particularly this end of the barn dried out a little better. So, my advice to you is if you're building a barn, get a good water pump, get a few good water pumps, because, man, it's all I do. Now, part of the trouble we have is that with this existing barn, this is creating a unique challenge. This is going to come down. We will grade it all away from the barn, but in the meantime, that roof drains into that little area. That roof comes to here. There's eaves, but they drain into here. This roof comes off and drains into this very small area. So it does create some unique challenges that mean, I'm pumping water now, not big volumes of water. Now it's just, Dad and I are both kind of coming out every few hours and making sure that water is moving and is not staying here, because I think the goal is, and talking to Pete, the goal is like, let's get this area poured. But as you can see, she's a bit squishy. So we're gonna need a few days. That's why having a nice day like this where the curtains are wide open is so nice, because I know we're actually having an impact. You look in here, like this wet area, it may not look like progress, but believe me, like this is actually drying out. You can kind of see that bit of a crust. It might not look dry, but it is drier than it is. So we've just got to be patient for a little bit of time while this does dry, so we can, get it regraded and actually get some concrete, but get some concrete on, solid ground. Okay, so this defacer, the idea of you can see that end, kind of like an auger, kind of like teeth, is going to chew into the face of the bunker. And the idea is right now I just use the bucket to kind of scrape down, and you want to keep it as packed, as tight as possible so that we don't get too much air, too much moisture, too much anything in. And when we go to make feed tomorrow, it's as high quality, as good as we can possibly make it. And this is going to be part of that solution. A great neighbor of ours isn't going to use it anymore, was quite happy to sell it. I was quite happy to buy it from him. I'm really excited to actually get using it. The catch is it doesn't quite fit perfectly on our skid steer. And so today's game is, how can we make it fit? Step one, take it to the shop and see what happens. But we will take our time because it is not locked on. It fits in okay, but it just won't lock. Hey, buddy. I think it's rubbing here, so I think maybe we'll grind a touch off there. Probably didn't need to set that
on the skid steer.
Okay, I don't know if this is right. I ground it a little off here, but like these bolts are holding it up. If this whole thing shifted up in just a little bit more, then I think it would flatten out. So I think what we got to do is make grooves for these bolts. You agree? That's our best bet. Someday, the day that I don't have to pump water, I don't know how I'm going to celebrate. It's going to be a very good day because we're running into this challenge, as I mentioned before, of all the water coming off roofs and kind of getting cornered in here. We've got it bermed up. It didn't work perfectly last night when we had a big rain. And so this, I mean, I finally got it, the water off here again this morning, but what was getting closer to dry, or at least not saturated, is back to wet again just because all this rain comes in. It just is kind of that reminder of, we get a big rain and we think, oh, we do not have this graded well. We are definitely going to have to do something, especially while we're in that time frame of like this being barn and before this part comes down, where like it'll be easy enough. Once this goes up, we can regrade it. There's lots of fall down towards the bunkers. No problem. We just have to last several months before we get there and figure out a much better plan on how to do this.